Welcome to What the Fluff. I'm your host. You can all call me Jay. This episode, I'm going to be talking about one of the little side fandoms off the fur fandom. So they don't have their own convention, sadly, but there's been panels done on it at different conventions. It's actually one of the ways that a lot of younger furries have gotten them is actually through a book series called the Warrior series. Now, the Warrior series is a really large series, so it's cut into like sub-series, and each sub-series has 6 books in it. But they all go together, and so that means they've got over like 50 books, and they have little side things and stuff like that. It's basically about these cats that live in a clan. There are 4 clans, and they sometimes fight for territory, stuff like that. And it's got a really in-depth system. Like when you're a kit, when their kittens are born, their name's cut into half. So you have blank kit. Let's say, like you've got a little kit and he's really fierce. You might call him Bramble and then Kit. And then when he becomes an apprentice, it's Bramble Paw. And then when he's about to become a warrior, he gets another ending that's like the final ending. But it's for one of his like traits. Like, I don't know, if he's a really good warrior, you might call him Claw, so it'd be Bramble Claw. Bramble Claw would be his end name. So then he's a warrior and he fights for the clan, and warriors train the apprentices. But then there's one more ending, which is if you become a leader, which you have to become deputy. And then when the leader dies, you go to the Moonstone and receive your 9 lives. I just totally blanked out. I think, yeah. And your enemy comes Star, so then you'd be Bramble Star, and you'd be the clan leader. It's really interesting, and it's really in-depth, and I found it actually kind of cool. It's a series that I've read. It's also a series that sorta introduced me into the fur fandom. It's a part of the story of my introduction to the fur fandom, which I'll go over in another episode. Now, this series was written by Aaron Hunter, which is not a single person. It's actually a group of women who write these stories, and they go under one name. So, I had another idea of somebody else who'd done that, another writer, and I can't think of it. But yeah, so that's why they can put out books so fast. But it is a really great series, and it has a really large following, and there's so much fan art and maps and stuff that people have made. I'm currently think of a couple YouTubers who used to do them. Sadly, one of them stopped YouTubing. She was an amazing YouTuber named Drakenator. She used to do them. She has stopped YouTubing and deleted her channel. So if you know about it, then you know, amazing artist and made a lot of amazing maps. If you don't, you can still probably find some people have some of her old stuff still up. You can probably find her elsewhere, but she's not on YouTube. Yeah, and that's actually a lot of younger furries. That's how they've been brought into the fandom, is through that series. They found it, looking at art of the series, and they sort of were introduced in the fandom that way. So that's one of the main. A lot of stories share that sort of story. So mine's a bit more in depth than that. And that's definitely something I will share in another episode, hopefully soon. Now, this is obviously going to be a short episode, because I can't explain too much about it. I've pretty much explained the basics of it. Then, yeah, clans, Thunder Clan, Shadow Clan, Wind Clan, is it River Clan? And they used to meet at a place called Four Trees, which is where all their territories meet. There were 4 trees. It was like once a month and full moon. You know, they go. You become an apprentice at 6 moons from a kit, and then you train until you're deemed worthy to be a warrior. They have like a whole little society. Now, there is one thing I like to say, sort of teaser announcement. So this is season 0 because I obviously started and there's not much left of the year. So the first episode of season 1 is gonna be sort of like a secret. It's gonna be surprising, short but surprising. So I want you all to look forward to that. And don't forget to tell your friends about this podcast. Hit that follow button. You know, questions, comments. I'll link my email in the thing. Send them there, and I'll get back to you. So, yeah, and be ready. Start of the next year, the first episode. Gonna be a surprise.